but then you went too far. When your ship has sailed and all your dreams are lost, everything is wrong, you feel like it's your fault. Just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. You're stronger now than you ever been. You gotta leave now, it's time to catch the wind. You will climb up high and look through the clouds. And when you're feeling low, I know you'll bounce back. Oh, and just remember, I will be there for you, baby. Remember, there's nothing out there to get you, don't forget it. When life throws lemons, just call me. Just call me. Just call me. Just call me.
We are live from Talladega for round 2 of the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway series here on ESPN. And after a controversial finish to last week's season opener, we are here for more racing here, this time in the Xfinity cars. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for making us a part of your evening. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett, back in the booth with you for this one. And joining me once again is one Mr. Tony Chipasso. And Tony, I wasn't here for last week's one, but there was a lot of controversy at the end of last week's race.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they had a caution after 2 attempts at a green-white checker, and the driver who was given what was supposed to be the lead of the race decided to not pay attention to where the pace car was, crossed the finish line before the pace car got there, and got black flagged, dropped down to the last car on the lead lap for passing the pace car under yellow, handing the win of the season opener to the driver of the number 10, Mr. Zichandura.
Yeah, and Zichandura, as you can see the review on your screen right there, picking up his third win in 4 races, stretching back to last season now. That is a good run of form to start the season off here, Tony. You've got to be watching that driver to pick up where he left off last week and continue his great run of form here tonight.
Well, that entire team is usually, really strong on the speedway tracks. They work well together, and if you can get at least 2 of them nose to tail, Katie bar the door, because those guys are going to the front, and they're going to the front in a hurry.
That is absolutely true. As we are going down to the track right now to see how things are faring, we're just about a minute away from ticking over into qualifying here, and we've seen a lot of drafting going on here tonight. Obviously, this is the first time in a long time we have seen these Xfinity cars on our screens. Now, I said to you pre-broadcast that this is pretty odd considering that the first ever league we broadcast on this channel was an Xfinity league, and it's good to see these cars back with us once again.
Yeah, absolutely, but definitely a different batch of Xfinity cars from what we the very first broadcast on the ESPN family of broadcasts. At the time, it wasn't. It was a different Mustang, and I believe it was a different Camaro as well. And it was not the Supra; it was actually a
Camry.
A Camry.
Yeah.
So.
And I actually,
go ahead.
I actually prefer the Camry I actually prefer the Supra over the Camry. It just looks. It's not supposed to look the part because it's a supercar, but it sort of. I don't know how a NASCAR did it, but they actually made it look the part for the series.
It's a 6-cylinder.
It's Toyota's supercar. We can't knock them for it.
Well, for those of you who are purists, that car is actually the same car in 3 different car brands.
Mm-hmm.
There's a Scion version of it, the Toyota version of it, and those of us that like our all-wheel drive stuff, Subaru calls it the BRZ, or as you guys say across the pond, the BRZ.
Yeah. I think the Europeans call the Toyota Supra, that is called over there, the GT86 over here. So, which is a weird name for it, but it is what it is. But anyway, qualifying underway right now, and we're just looking at one man that has just come out. Missed the first race, obviously, because he was standing in for me with broadcast duties. That's Mr. Frank Marchese out in the Exalta number 24. And I said this again during the pre-broadcast here. A lot of Hendrick paint schemes out there tonight for this race.
Well, there's a lot of guys that are trying to give their nod to get Jeff Gordon back out on the track for at least one race this season. And, it's kind of a fan deal on, I believe it's either Instagram or Twitter or one of those social media baloney things that the kids use today. They're trying to convince Jeff to, one more time, like Dale Jr. did a couple years ago.
Yeah, absolutely. And Carl Smalley, who's very synonymous with iRacing E-Series, just chimed in on the live chat. It says the Supra shares a platform with a BMW. Now, that's an interesting thing to note.
It's loosely based on the M3.
Except it's got
in about the same way that you and I are both based on Irish DNA.
Yeah, pretty much. A Japanese car with German DNA. That's a interesting combination.
I don't think we're live, bud.
Oh, we are live.
Oh no, I'm clicking the wrong broadcast. Never mind.
Anyway, we just had the first few times coming. Zichandura picking up where he left off last week, and that's exactly what we're talking about at the start of the broadcast, going straight to the top of the board. Marchese in P6 right now. I think they only have one lap of qualifying here, so Marchese really needed a good lap, and he didn't get it. Brian Tarnowski jumping into P7. Brandon Wilson is also running a classic Jeff Gordon scheme with that DuPont Flame car. Dustin Logston out on track. John Creighton out on track as well. The man that got the dreaded black flag last week, not here tonight, so probably licking his wounds a bit this week.
Yeah, I'm thinking that he's deciding to just kind of, call it a day and not run with the Superspeedway League anymore. I mean, the guy last week hit everything except the pace car.
Oh, fair enough. But anyway, qualifying's still going on. We've got 8 times in so far. Dennis Nickel, the most recent one. Jason Papp, the league owner, is out on track in very distinguished Rowdy Energy number 1 Toyota Supra. Looking like he was looking very fast in practice. I will say Nick Kessler jumping up to 3rd place, by the way. We've still got times coming in. John Creighton into P9 in his Hendrick entry. And watch out for Chris Worrell as well. He's always fast when he comes to these races.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Worrell was running up towards the front most of the night last week until all hell broke loose in the last part of that race. And, unfortunately, he got taken out.
Yeah. Bad luck kid last week. Hopefully his form will turn around as Brandon Wilson jumped up to P9. Jason Papp up to P5. Nicholas Swing, I'm not sure if he's going to have enough time to get a time in. He might, but I think he's just giving up the ghost here. He's riding down on the apron right now in his number 90 Sprint Toyota.
Which is weird to me. I mean, if you're going to do something like that, well, he's still about 10 mile an hour off the pace of where he should be.
Yeah.
But, it was almost no sense in even trying at that point, so he's just kind of putting around. But, a lot of guys choosing to not take time in qualifying. They're going to want to start as far back as they can to keep the trouble in their windscreen instead of rearview mirror.
That they do as we are looking at the grid right now. Let's go to the actual grid lineup for tonight's race, and starting up on the pole will be last week's winner, Zishan Dura. He'll be joined on the front row by Ryan Decker, who's set an almost identical time to the championship leader. Nick Kessler.
There's no almost.
Yeah,
that was identical.
Yeah, absolutely. But Dura getting the pole because he set the time first. Nick Kessler and Conor Trafari, the reigning champion, make up row 2. Jason Papp and James Lowe make up row 3. Row 4 will be Marcus Adams and Frank Marchese. Row 5 will be Brandon Wilson and Brian Tarnowski. And row 6 here will be John Creighton and Dennis Nickel here, Tony.
Making his return to the series, starting in row number 7, joined with Chris Worrell, is Michael Anthony in the number 8. Jesse Cottrell and Zach Borman going to roll off in row 8. Row 9 gives us Joe Gauthier and Mark McFadden. Shane Posey and Ryan Worley rolling off in row number 10. Row 12 brings us Nick Wing and Dustin Langston. Pat Coro and Richard Lakawa rolling off in row 12. Starting shotgun on the field in this 25-car race is going to be John LeBombard in the 95.
Yeah, and that is always the forte of John LeBombard. Loves to start on the back row and work his way forward. And we're going to see that here again tonight, depending on if he can get a decent run now. It's going to be interesting to see how these guys fare in this one. Obviously, this is only the second race of the season, so people are going to be looking for the best spots possible here tonight, Tony, and try and put their best foot forward and try and stake their claim for a playoff spot.
Yeah, absolutely. But you take a look at the top 3 starting positions. Zishan Dura, 53.414. Ryan Decker, 53.414. Nick Kessler, 53.415.
Yeah, very close.
flat trying to get it tonight.
Yeah, and get it they will.
Yeah, absolutely. But 75 laps of scheduled distance, unlimited tires, only 75% fuel fill tonight, though, Sam, and only one fast repair.
Yeah, that one fast repair will be crucial. You got to try and keep it as long as possible, and that is the objective of most drivers, if not all of the drivers in this field here tonight. Obviously, there is the chance of the big one. We've got 25 drivers taking the green. Thing is, Patrick Coro, interestingly, not taken to the grid in this one.
He is still in the session. Looks like he's choosing the pit start this one.
Which is an interesting strategy, although it is possible. If you get an early caution, you won't get lapped early. But with the way these guys run, and we know how good they run,
he's screwed.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. Looking at one of the Bulls cars, one of the Bulls Guarana cars down on the very infield right now. That's Chris Borrell. Not really sure what the deal is there for the number 6 driver, but he's coming back up the track now. As we make our way through turns 3 and 4. Tony, it's time to get us going here.
The field forms up behind the Chevy Silverado pace truck, the official pace truck of iRacing. We've got last week's winner, Zishan Dura, joined on the front row with Ryan Decker as the field works its way out of turn number 4. Now, keep in mind, folks, yes, after the pace truck leaves, there's going to be a long time before we get to the start-finish line, because the start-finish line is actually just past pit exit, going before you get into turn 1. And these guys are not allowed to go on the initial green, or not allowed to go until the initial green flag comes. After that, it'll be on the leader. So as the field works its way through the tri-oval, the only thing that's left to do is adjust the visor, pull the 5-point harness, it's nice and tight, make sure the steering wheel's on straight. Race fans, it's showtime!
Green flag flies and we are racing on the first lap of the second round of the new season here in the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series, and everybody's safe and away easily. We've got a gap forming though early on in this race, and that's not something you want to see when the top drivers start sprinting away like that. As we've got one down in the apron away already. Mark McFadden going down to the apron. That's a Marcus Adams. Mark McFadden looks like Michael Anthony has dropped down there as well.
Yeah, there was a couple of the Balls Guarana cars and Mark McFadden, but yeah, not the greatest start for Brandon Wilson in the 501. He kind of stacked up that inside line ever so slightly as Marchese drops to the low lane to try to pick up his Rainbow Warrior teammate, if you will, unofficially, as these guys are just flat getting it right now, as they're still too deep, or too wide, about 10 deep.
Absolutely. So Dura, I think it was Decker that led that first lap across the line, but very slightly. That Oreo number 28, usually a name
Dura.
very... Oh, it was Dura, actually. So the 4, Nick Kessler dropping to below the line now. He's going to fall to the back as well as he leaves his teammates hanging pretty much, sir.
Well, not really, as Trafari drops down in front of his teammate there on the low line, trying to make something happen against Ryan Decker, as the two of them still nose to tail. And Decker has one of the Balls Guarana cars pushing him. So, going to be a drag race coming through the tri-oval, still too wide, about 6 deep. And there's a third lane starting to form. That's a couple of your Balls Guarana cars.
Yeah, and they hooked up pretty quickly right there. Worrell and Anthony, they dropped to below the yellow line on lap 1. We're only on lap 3, and already they're making headway on that top line. They're just caught up behind Brandon Wilson. Going to try and make a third lane for themselves as they come out of turn 2. Not really going to have the momentum, though. Not much help up there for those two cars.
Yeah, absolutely not. And it's kind of unfortunate because this is one of the few tracks in the simulator that you can get away with 3 wide all the way around this piece. As we've got a couple other drivers, this Tarnowski in the 66 making a lane change, trying to figure out where he wants to go. Currently, no help in front or behind for the Red Dog 66. It's coming to the stripe one more time. And that is Trafari on the low lane and Worrell. No, I'm sorry. I'm not looking right.
It was Decker in the middle, Worrell on the high side.
Thank you.
As they're still 3 wide for second place here. Decker does have the clear out in front, but how long will that last? As here comes Trafari again on the inside on the exit of turn 2. Does not have the clear any longer. It's Frank Marchese now, the next one to drop below the yellow line.
What was confusing me is we apparently had a drunken tech official again handing out the wrong transponder as Decker with a number 1 on the door being scored as the number 28 tonight. So
you might want to reset trading paints. It's showing as 28 for me.
Just did.
Okay. But anyway, still making the way through the tri-oval again to complete lap 4, and it's now James Lowe at the front of the field now in the 99 Balls Garana machine. It's good to see James Lowe back in the field. Missed pretty much all of last season. Good to see him back out there again for this one.
Yeah, absolutely. I believe that was the 6 of Worrell getting shuffled out, kind of hung out to dry right now, as no help on that outside lane as Michael Anthony rolling with the guys on the inside and just leaving his teammate hanging out to dry as, these guys are just picking him up and laying him down right now, Sam.
Yeah, we got Dennis Nickel channeling his inner Denny Holm right now. Denny Hamlin right now, as he's got the FedEx car right there, and I called the wrong driver. Denny Holm is a former Formula 1 champion. That's a pretty embarrassing mistake there, as I'm usually a Formula 1 guy. Brandon Wilson on his own on the outside. Everybody looking to go single file already. Now, this is a sign of things starting to settle down. They know they have 75 laps here and want to try and get this race settled down. Don't want too much chaos at the start.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to figure out who they can work with. Wow. That's some unhealthy stuff going on at the tail end of the outside line.
Yeah.
Didn't quite catch who that was.
It was Chris Worrell as Nichols goes up to join him on that third lane. That's put them all, that really disjointed all those balls ground cars, because Marcus Adams was right there as well, and Nichols was having none of it.
Adams was the one that I was seeing doing 2 and 3 lane changes down the back straightaway, as they're still 3 wide in some areas of this thing, Sam, and the fact that you can get away with that at Talladega, these guys are going to have to be more careful next week as we go to back to Daytona, but still, I mean, just flat getting it. And Connor Trafari continues to show the way. James Lowe and Brandon Wilson now leading that third lane, trying to make something happen out on the outside.
Yeah, and I believe we're in the ARCA cars next week, so for the I think it's the earliest time we're going to see the ARCA car since we started broadcasting these guys, so good to see them back in that machine, but always going to be interested to see how that one pans out, as it looks like Brandon Wilson will lead that lap across the line as he goes down 2 lanes to get in front of James Lowe. The real threat, though, is in that middle there. You see Jason Papp giving Connor Trafari a nice big push coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, one of the safest pushers in the league, driver of the A's, Jason Papp. If there's anybody in this league that I would trust to give me a shove, it's Papp. He knows when to go, when not to go, when to lift just a little bit to not really get into you in the corners as you do.
Yeah, and it's I said that we're going single file to settle the race down. They're 3 wide, 3 deep again, and don't seem to be settling down anytime soon as Trafari cuts the nose off Brandon Wilson. More importantly, Jason Papp down to the inside line. He takes the lead of the race.
That's Michael Anthony, bud.
Was it?
Yeah, that was Michael Anthony in the
so
8
they've got similar
taking
cars.
the lead of the race.
This is what happens when you have similar painted cars. Anyway, it was Michael Anthony, so I apologise to him. But more importantly, look who's back in front again. Connor Trafari taking that lead back almost as quickly as he lost it.
Yeah, as Anthony jumped up to pick up his Balls Garana teammate in the 31, that's Marcus Adams. And still, I mean, these guys are racing this like it's the last lap. Give that lap to Anthony again, who knows out front at the stripe. Trafari doing everything he can, but he's got to be careful. Whoa, that was a big wiggle.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this front pack right now. Behind them, everybody pretty much spread out right now. We've got one drop into the low line. I think that was, it wasn't Lakawa. I think it was Jesse Cottrell behind him. That was jumping down.
Yeah.
And a bit of an update on Patrick Coro. He did not take the start of this race at all.
He did not. And because he had a packet loss.
Throughput for those that don't know.
Right.
Anyway, the Bulls Guarana car starting to fall by the wayside. The only one that's up there is James Lowe. As here comes Nickel on that outside line again, trying to pick up the Bulls cars, but not really having it all his own way. Have to file in behind Jason Papp once again. Let's go a bit further back right now. Luke Richard Nakawa in that number 38 machine, just trying to stay with these guys. We've got one down in the apron. That will be your reigning champion, Connor Trafari, going to the back.
Yeah, he had a big wiggle coming out of... what the hell are you doing? Had a big wiggle coming out of 2, and I just saw somebody make a 3-lane change like they were drunkenly driving down the interstate. And I didn't quite catch who it was.
Yeah, we'll soon figure that one out as we've got another new driver in that lead pack now. It's going to be Zach Bowman in the Great Clips number 9, trying to push his way forward. He's just ahead. I believe that's Ryan Worley just behind him. So, and more new drivers making their way forward as we're 3 wide, 2 deep now.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, these guys are picking them up, laying them down. We're 12 laps into this thing. Expect your pit stops to come probably within the next 10 laps. As again, they only have a 75% fuel fill tonight. So probably about 20 to 23 laps under anger is about all you're going to be able to see right now, as Dura now pushing the 501 of Wilson. You got Pat pushing the 99 of Lowe, and then you've got the 6 of Worrell pushing on the... I have no idea who that is. The 11 of Dennis Nickel.
Yeah, Nickel been slowly pushing his way forward, as well as, again, 3 wide, 2 deep coming down this super long, super stretch here at Talladega, as Chris Worrell has given up pushing Nickel. Now we'll file in behind Jason Papp, as we've still got people falling backwards here. Michael Anthony has gone from the penthouse to the outhouse. He's really fallen to the back. He's going to file in behind John LeBombard in P22.
Yeah, he just couldn't stop the hemorrhaging to try to get down to that low line. And if what I'm seeing is what I think I'm seeing, we're not that far away from green flag pit stops, because normally when these guys start to try to get single file like this, that's the sure telltale sign that they're coming to the pits.
Yeah, as there's still the same people up at the front there as Dennis Nickel, just trying to hold a line there behind Chris Worrell. And look at that, we've got 2 more Bulls Guarana cars hooking up at the front there. That's Worrell and now James Lowe working together as they go to the point now, with Lowe at the point. In the lead, sorry.
And that's dangerous for the rest of the field when you've got 2 Bulls Guarana guys working together like that. And don't look now, but here comes the 67 of Joe Gautier back into the top 15 after starting almost shotgun on the field. Now, the other thing to keep in mind, Zach Borman was given an EOL penalty at the beginning of the race. I did not receive word as to why, other than it may have been requested, but Borman, starting dead last when the green came out, now worked his way back into the top 5.
That he has, and just to mention, Gautier had the biggest heartbreak ever, was in the running to move into the final 4 of the playoffs last season, and his internet connection just let him down, and he missed out on that final 4 spot. So he's going to be a man out for redemption this season.
Yeah, absolutely. He's about to get shuffled out, as that's Connor Trafari right behind him. And Connor Trafari to his side right now as Gauthier hung out to dry on that third lane. He's going to have to drop to the tail end. And don't look now, but here comes the 83 of Shane Posey trying to make a third lane work as he jumps up in front of those guys to have a head of steam up there.
Yeah, Posey led the early part of last season. We'll be looking to do the same this time around, but with a lot of competitors, very good competitors around him, not probably going to be the same result here as James Lowe goes to the middle lane to block off Dennis Nickel here. That's going to give the inside line to his teammate Chris Worrell, who will look for that bonus point and lead in a lap.
Yeah, absolutely, and every bonus point counts right now as these guys are trying to figure out who's going to make the playoffs and who's not going to make the playoffs. As Worrell with the nose out front, and with a single file as these guys are trying to get, yeah, we're not that far away. Drag race to the stripe, Low on the high side, Worrell on the inside, give it to Low in the 99.
Yeah, Lowe just taking away that bonus point from his teammate, but I'm pretty sure Worrell will get one eventually. Slowly creeping back up into the mix right here is Ishan Dura. He fell back for a short while, but has soon found his way back up to the top 5. Winner from last week, looking for his second in a row. Remember, he's won the last 3 out of 4 races, stretching back to last season. He's looking to make it 4 out of 5. So Dura has got some kind of incentive there to work on tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And what he was doing was he was dropping to the back to see just how long is it going to take him to get back towards the front of this field. And from the looks of it, 4 laps.
And he has always struggling to keep a line behind Wilson, though. Just dipping 2 wheels off below that yellow line. Does it again, going in towards turn 1. He's got Ryan Worley right behind him, and Worley up 13 spots already from 20th. So he's the big mover. The biggest mover of the night so far, Richard Lukawa, up 15 spots already. He started in P24.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, great showing for your first race to make that many spots up and do it cleanly and not piss anybody else off in the field, which is the hard part sometimes for some of these guys coming into a league like this.
Yeah, very highly competitive league. We've seen it in the past. We know it for every Monday from the Rowdy Energy Cup Series. We saw it every Friday from the last season that we watch these guys just absolutely throw hand grenades at each other. And Connor Trafari, the mature head and young shoulders, coming out on top and beating guys that were pretty much twice his age in some respects.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, keep in mind the driver of the 48 is only 16 years old, ladies and gentlemen, and he already can say that he's an iRacing East Superspeedway Series champion. That's huge, and that's why that team has a real-world sponsor on their cars. The brewery that you see on Zishan Dura's car and Connor Trafari's car, that's not a joke. That's a real-world brewery, a smaller brewery, but they're throwing real-world money at simulator racing, and hats off to that entire team for being able to secure that sponsor for the season.
Yeah, absolutely. As he's Trafari currently running in P18 right now, just taking a bit of a break from running at the front. There's another big lane change there. I believe that was Michael Anthony making that big lane change, just filing right behind Jason Papp and almost turning him right there. That could have gone all kinds of wrong. As it's Balls Garana in control of the front right now.
Well, they were trying to stay off of the 11, who was about as stable as my ex-girlfriend, coming down the back straightaway. I mean, if I didn't know any better, I'd swear he had a tire going down, but tire wear is almost negligible here at places like Talladega and Daytona. But Jason Papp getting that lap.
Yeah, great run there by Jason Papp. The one seems a lot more confident in these cars than he has in others, so Papp on a good run so far, but it's still too early in the race to say how it's going to finish for him, but doing well so far.
Yeah, absolutely. As Anthony gets around Papp drops down to the low line to get in front of the 99, and Worrell getting a decent shove from the 11 of Nickel. but they're going to need some help to make that happen in that second lane. Is right now, Pap almost a full car length to the good out in front of this field.
Yeah, Pap still holding off those cars behind him. He does have a teammate with him, but is behind James Lowe, unfortunately, as Nickel looking very feisty there behind Chris Worrell right now. And he's got Michael Anthony right behind him. He's got Marcus Adams right behind him. He is surrounded by Balls Garana's car. Definitely is now. He's got two either side of him. Which is weird to say, but it is what it is.
Pap now has his teammate behind him.
Yeah. And Nickel's going to get shuffled out big time here, as those Balls Garana's car are all over the place right now.
Yeah, well, Pap almost got his nose taken off by Worrell, and you now have the 31 of Marcus Adams pushing his teammate Michael Anthony, and these guys from Balls Energy are showing that they're not playing around this season. They are wanting to win some races and win some races early to get these guys qualified for the playoffs.
From Marchese and John Creighton slowly creeping the way up on that outside line. I think Marchese's got sick of waiting and now wants to move his way forward and throw his hat into the ring. Same for John Creighton. Both of those Axalta cars moving to the front now.
Well, they're going to have to get it figured out quick, as we are getting ready to put 23 laps in the books. So almost one third of the way done with this event here tonight. 75 laps of scheduled distance, and yes, there will be a green-white checker. Give that lap to Michael Anthony, as it's Balls 1, 2, 3, 4 tonight.
At the moment it is, but here comes Marchese. Pap is on his inside, and Marchese is an honorary member of Dudes Racing, so it'd be nice and refreshing to see Pap and Brandon Wilson to his inside right now.
Yeah, absolutely. Is right now Pap the only one on the Dudes team here tonight not running a Hendrick paint scheme. That could have gotten ugly.
Yeah, there's Pap just getting in a bit of a side draft at the moment there, and that could have ended all kinds of poorly. One member of the Dudes Racing team I am noticing is not here tonight. Greg McConey, not here in this race tonight.
He said last week that he was not going to be able to make it this week. There's a family thing going on, and I'm not sure exactly what, but you know as well as I do, Sam, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So Greg doing something with the wife and kids this week, and taking a well-earned break from the sim racing world, even if it is just for one night.
Yeah, family vacation is always a good vacation. I mean, it's good to blow some steam off every now and then. There's looking at Jesse Cottrell right now, trying to keep up with the lead pack. It's getting squirrely at the front right now.
This is one of the reasons why I don't drive that much anymore. And finally, Chris Worrell leads a lap to get that all-important bonus point. Congratulations, Chris. And, this is one of the reasons why I don't drive a lot anymore. Is you remember that you and I met in a Superspeedway league that used open-wheel cars. And my ticker could not take all the stress of, people doing crazy things around me like you're seeing a lot of these guys do tonight.
I will argue that we met in a league called 0 to 100, which was long before the open wheel league.
You're right. You're right.
Which here we go. Big bunch of cars coming down to pit road now.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Marchese involved in that one?
Yeah,
Pap, Wilson. Looks like Bowman, Kessler, Trafari, McFadden.
So Marchese is going to be the first one to hit his pit stall. He was the fastest into pit road. Now, that could spell trouble for Marchese, because he might have gone in a bit too fast, and that might affect his pit stop. There goes Brandon Wilson leaving pit road right now, and we're going to take a look at the pit exit right now, and it looks like Marchese's been hit there. Speed it in there, Tony.
73 at the cone.
So he was well over.
And he went into the grass, which is a no-go zone. So unsafe pit entry for the 24. And it looks like Jason Papp got popped too.
The two of the dudes, racing cars, drivers getting big penalties right there. Ryan Decker, Jesse Cottrell, Joe Gauthier, Shane Posey, and Dustin Logston in pit road for their stops now. So that leaves only 10 left to take their pit stops, and they're coming out of turn 2 now. So this will be your last lap coming down to pit road. We'll see how it all pans out once everybody's taken their pit stops. Unfortunately for Frank Marchese and Jason Papp, though, their competitive race is pretty much over. They're going to need a caution.
Bad news, they both got popped for speeding. Good news, they've worked well together in the past.
Yeah.
So they're not as hung out to dry as if one of them just got popped.
Mark McFadden getting popped as well. He's still in pit road. Oh no, Mark McFadden has just made it down pit road. I do apologise. So actually, he's just coming for a second stop. So I wonder if he's been... he was speeding out, so that's why he's back in pit road. So McFadden coming into 7 penalties. So now we've got Richard Nakawa and Brian Tarnowski in pit road. That leaves 8 left to come in.
Yeah, and there it is.
Give me your tap there, bud.
And that is exactly what Marchese and
Worley.
Pat wanted, and it's Ryan Worley in some trouble here, and that looks like it's on pit exit as well. So big troubles there for the 00. We're going to go back.
Kessler got him going into 3.
Yeah, we're going to take a look and see what happened here.
I think that's 3.
Oh no, he went down and lost it completely.
Yeah, no, there was contact from Kessler, though.
We'll go back because for some reason iRacing is not showing what it's supposed to be showing. And that's not what I wanted to do either. So we're going to take a look and see.
No, you're right. That was netcode.
Yeah.
I could have wheeled my fat crippled ass between those two cars at speed. So that was just straight up cold tires on Worley's part. Had the air taken off a spoiler, but there was no actual contact.
That's exactly what I thought it was. I don't think it was netcode. I think it was simply Ryan Worley had the air taken off his rear spoiler, and it just was enough to send him around down to that apron. He tried to get back on the power while he was down there, and it just spun him around. So Worley, unfortunately, involved in that first caution of the night, and that is a big sigh of relief for both Jason Papp and Frank Marchese right there. Even bigger sigh of relief for Mark McFadden.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to hand the effective race lead over to the number 1 of Ryan Decker. And just reloaded trading paints 3 times, Sam, and it's your trading paints that need to be reloaded.
Let's take a look.
So we'll step away and pay some bills while these guys are doing some pit stops, and stay tuned for this word from our sponsors.
So we are back live here at Talladega. Lights are off on the pace truck as we are ready to go racing here. Once again, we just had our first caution of the night, and for some reason it's just showing the track and not the cars. So we're going to go to this one and do this one. And there we go. Green flag should be coming out right about now. And we are racing once again here at Talladega. And it's going to be Chris Morrell that's going to lead them down towards turn 1. And a lot of drivers, most notably Pap, Marchese and McFadden, breathing a sigh of relief. Although McFadden, I believe, has got a lap down here, which is unusual, which is strange.
Yes, he has. But a lot of guys electing to take the wave around as they were in danger of going a lap down when that caution came out. So that handed the lead of the race over to Chris Worrell when we went back to green. Right now, James Lowe in the 99 showing the way in that second lane. As once again, we have Balls Garana 1, 2, 3. And the only difference there is we've got Dennis Nickel in the 11 pushing on Worrell in the 6.
Again, like I said before, Dennis Nickel channeling his inner Denny Hamlin, and we've seen Hamlin win on super speedways before, so why not channel your inner Denny Hamlin as we are continuing
because
this one.
Reasons.
Yeah, reasons. Kessler is looking for positions there. He's right behind his teammate Zach Bowman as they come down the super stretch once again. Dennis Hamlin, I believe, is very quickly becoming the most winningest driver that hasn't won a NASCAR title yet.
He's won a championship.
Has he? When?
I thought he did.
No, he's never won a Cup championship. He might have won an Xfinity championship, but not a Cup championship. Anyway, back to the racing though, as we're 3 wide for the lead here. Zishan Dura has decided he wants to get up there, and he's right on that high line, and it looks like Marcus Adams might be caught in the sucker hole here as they come out of turn 2, and Marcus Adams is in trouble here, Tony.
Yeah, Adams having all sorts of problems right now, as not really any help for set. Ooh. That almost ended poorly.
Yeah, Bowman nearly had a big one there as they come out of turn 4 down towards the start-finish line, and Kessler still trying to make up positions here. Brian Tarnowski is on the move in that 66 Red Dot machine, is up to P5 now, so that Toyota Supra is on the move. Actually, the Chevrolet, sorry, is on the move now in P4.
Yeah, not a bad run going for Tarnowski, and it's good to see that old Mike Wallace paint scheme popping back up. I always liked that when I was in college, when that car was active. But don't look now, but here comes Dura leading that second lane as he's got Bowman pushing the daylights out of him.
Yeah, and Kessler is up there as well. Shane Posey making his way forward too. But yeah, that Red Dog machine, I do like to see that paint scheme come out every now and again. He does have, who that's Richard, no, not Richard Lecawa. Who's that right behind him? I see a yellow paint scheme. I think that's John LeBombard. Yeah, it is. But from the back of the field, and it's not yellow, it's orange, I just realised. But still, from the very back of the field, P25 he started, now it's sitting up in P8.
Yeah, absolutely. As Nick Wing in the 90 going a lap down there, as we're still 3 wide at the front end of this field, and nothing short of miraculous, as that's Nick Kessler all by his lonesome on that outside lane. He was able to hang on for as long as he was, but he is about to hemorrhage spots.
Yeah, there goes Lecawa to his inside as well, as people are just trying to find their fast lanes. Cottrell goes around, and Bowman will be the next one to go past him as well. Mark McFadden, who's a lap down, is trying to get his lap back the hard way. He's right on the back of Ryan Decker here.
Yeah, absolutely. These guys are just flat getting it right now. Most guys on very similar pit strategies, with the exception of the double zero of Worley and the 12 of Marchese, and yeah, everybody else 7 and 8 laps. Worley and Marchese both needing to stay out to get the wave around 12 laps on their current tank of fuel.
And Marcus Adams, who was charging at the front there on that restart, now finds himself down in P19 and very quickly losing the lead pack here. Adams, who was caught in that sucker hole, also with connection problems as well. That number 31 machine looks in trouble as we go back to the lead pack here. James Lowe is at the front, but look at the top of the track there. That's Bowman, and I think that's LeBombard almost coming to blows there near the safer barrier.
And, you know, those two guys, there's not a lot of love lost between them to begin with. But, you know, that was definitely a sketchy moment coming through 1 and 2. And, yeah, you were correct when you said that Denny Hamlin, the winningest driver to not yet win a Cup championship, quickly turning into the modern-day Mark Martin.
Absolutely, as we're looking at Patrick Coro, who finally made his start in the session. The only problem is he joined the race 28 laps down, so he's just going to have to get to the end of this race and pick up what's there, but no retirements yet so far tonight.
That's good to see. Is still just hot and heavy at the front of this field. Lowe, Worrell, Dura, Nickel, Tarnowski rounding out your top 5, as they're still too wide at the very front of this thing.
There they are, and it's not as extreme as it was at the start of the race, where it was 3 wide, 3 deep on a couple of occasions, but still very contentious at the front here, as we've got the two Balls Guarana Orange versus Balls Guarana Cherry. Which is your preference? Oh, you like cherries, so it's going to be cherry, isn't it? So.
For what, drinks?
Well, you just like cherries in general, so.
I like raw cherries. But no, I mean, you know, fresh cherries straight off the tree. Not a fan of cherry flavored drinks, because I have yet to find a company that gets the flavoring correct. So I got to go with orange.
Yeah, I like Cherryade. It's not so bad.
What is Cherryade?
It's basically fizzy cherry pop soda, whatever.
When you come over here, I'm going to have to introduce you to Cheerwine then.
Oh, God. Anyway, back to the racing. And look who's found himself in the front. Shane Posey, who had had a good start to last season, looking to have another good start this time. Currently now fighting for the lead. He does have the clear to go down, but doesn't take that option. He's lost his chance now and will be caught in the sucker hole. And there goes Nick Kessler to the outside, followed by Ryan Decker. And I believe that is Brandon Wilson up there as well with Zach Bowman.
Yes, it is. And don't look now, but here comes the one of Jason Papp back into the top 10 after having a disastrous green flag pit stop. Was able to stay on the lead lap, get that car serviced under the caution as well to make sure he's on the same fuel strategy as those guys he's been fighting with. And he is now on the same pit strategy again with his teammate, the 501 of Brandon Wilson. Those guys trying to work that third lane to perfection. They're going to have a little bit of help coming up here, as here comes Bowman to help.
Yeah, Bowman is on a charge right now on that. Driving the Larson line pretty much on a super speedway, which is well, it's strange, yeah. But he's staying up there. He's making it work. As we're going to go back to Tarnowski now, putting Zishan Dura under a lot of pressure here, but not too much pressure. He's not right on the bumper, but Dura right on the bumper of James Lowe, though. And it begs the question, where is Connor Jafari? He's all the way back in the... well, he's mired near the back right now. Jafari really taking it easy at this midpoint of the race.
Yeah, kind of just riding right now as, you know, we've seen him do in the past. He kind of mid-race, just kind of riding, not trying to put that car in any perilous situations, and he's probably doing the same thing that his teammate did earlier, trying to figure out what does he have to do to go from as deep as he is right now towards the front of this field in the closing laps. This is the time where you kind of want to experiment with that, figure out who you can go with, who you don't have a possibility of going with, and so on. But Trafari not looking to put that car in any danger right now.
Yeah, we are nowhere near the money stop right now, as we believe they still have 2 more stops to make. They've got one coming up pretty soon, and they have another one which is going to be darn near close to the end of the race. So going to be either fuel saving, or they're going to try and make it to them. But fuel saving isn't really a thing here at Talladega, so they're definitely going to have to make 2 stops here.
Well, you can save fuel if you're riding behind somebody. You to be able to maintain speed with someone in the draft, you don't have to keep your foot planted to the floor. You do if you want to give them a good shove, but if you're riding in someone's wake, you can save a little bit of fuel. That's what we saw last week, as there were some of these guys that were waiting. Marconi was one of them. He was sitting and riding for the first part of the fuel run to close the race out. Then we got a handful of green-white checkers, and unfortunately, he was going to run out coming to 1 to go down the back straightaway. Had all hell not broken loose and put us under caution, and he got taken out.
Yeah, which is unfortunate, and it can happen in this league. We've seen it happen before. As look at Nickel trying to make a hole for himself right there, and it's going to work for Nickel as he powers his way to the lead. What a move there by the 11.
That's one way to put it. There it goes.
Yeah, and Kessler shoved down below the yellow line. He's going to try and come back up. He does. They give him plenty of room there. And that's a good gentleman driving from the rest of the guys around him. They didn't have to give him that room.
No, they didn't, but, gentlemen racers here in the league, and I think Michael Anthony just hit the nail on the head as he put in the in-sim chatter, gonna be big.
Yeah, it will be. If there is a big wreck here, they will collect...
No, you mean when. When. Not if, when.
There is going to be a big one, but... we don't know when, but we've seen this many cars on the track before keep it clean, and hopefully we can see the same here tonight. As I'm looking at the outside of the track, Joe Gauthier once again trying to make his way forward. Oh! And that was Worrell making the aggressive move there to the bottom of the line.
Well, actually it was Nickel trying to follow him. That's what was the pucker moment, as... almost getting into the 9 of Bowman. Bowman luckily able to lift just enough to let those guys come in, because they were coming regardless of whether he wanted them to or not.
Absolutely, as they're trying to make a 3 wide again around the track, and we are very steadily approaching green flag pit stops. There are a few drivers that are going to be pitting before them. Jason Papp, I believe, went in during the caution, so he is safe. But you said Frank Marchese is one of them.
And Ryan Worley.
And Ryan Worley, the other one. So, and there it is. A big shake-up in the field, and everybody's scrambling, but they make it through safely. Great one there. Great heads-up driving by everybody.
Yeah, that was Brandon Wilson. Looks like he may have gotten a little bit of help. Yeah. Going back to look now.
Take a look here at Brandon Wilson.
Yep, just ever so slightly from Jason Papp. Did not hit him square to give him a bump draft. And, we mentioned this last week during the Daytona race. 2 cars work great together. 3 cars, and you're the middle car in a line drafting together. You're along for the ride. I mean, you're basically going to get used as a pinball at that point.
Now, rule number 1 of racing: do not hit your teammate. That rule was broken completely there between Papp and Wilson, and Wilson did hit the wall as well, so he's going to have to burn that fast repair once the pit stops do come. So not going to be happy with his teammate right there.
Well, not going to be happy with his teammate, but it was just a bump draft gone wrong, which you kind of expect to happen at a place like Talladega. What you don't expect is the guy that's running second place in the inside line to try to throw a hip check coming through the tri-oval. As last time through, Dennis Nickel almost knocked a taste out of Zach Bowman's mouth.
And Nickel driving super aggressively right now, and he's trying to get the best position possible, but it's at the behest of other drivers. Kind of needs to calm down. I know there's 25 laps to go at the line, but still a lot of racing left to do before the checkered flag, so kind of needs to relax a little bit. I always say that you don't really start to get aggressive until the last 10 laps, and Nickel again just driving into the side of Nick Kessler right there.
How to Make Friends and Influence People by Dennis Nickel.
Absolutely, as he's going to fall to the very back of the field, just ahead of, I believe that's Nicholas Wing at the back there, with John Creighton, who's really fallen off the ball here.
And I can pretty much guarantee you that he just screwed any chance he has to try to win a race this season, because I don't think anybody in this field is willing to work with him at this point after the way he's been driving the last handful of laps.
Yeah, but there's always the chance to improve as the season goes on, so hopefully that is the case. We're only in the second round, remember, as we're now 24 laps to go here at Talladega, and it's Chris Worrell that's leading Ryan Decker in second, but Decker's going to do the crossover here on the Balls Garana machine, and Decker will move to the point, followed by Zach Bowman who's in second, as we've got incidents going on at the back. As Ryan Worley looks like he's getting involved again.
It was Worley and last week's winners, Ishan Dura, being used as a set of pool balls there. Looked like the 38 got into the 33, sent the 33 down track, and unfortunately, Dura just got hip checked coming out of 2. How he saved that without hitting anything, I have no idea, other than the hit out cone.
And all this chaos has helped out one driver in this field, and that's one Mr. Mark McFadden. He's up near the front of the field now, trying to get his lap back the hard way. Now this is going to work in his favor if he can get around Jason Papp and move his way to the front of the field and get that lap back, because should there be a caution, he won't need that lucky dog that he's currently in the position for right now.
You are correct, but I mean, there's some heavy hitters up there that he's going to have to deal with, as give another lap to Worrell, as he's got to get around Worrell, Decker, Papp, Borman, and Kessler.
Yeah, as Decker and Worrell are going after it right now on that inside line. They're not done fighting at the moment, and neither of the guys behind him. Kessler is up there, the 33 of Dustin Logston. That's the first time we've seen him up there tonight, and Joe Gauthier is up there again in the 8th position. Mate, that's the 7th position as he just gets around the outside of James Lowe.
Yeah, Gauthier got a good pull right there as he's coming up on the backside of the 33 of Logston. And you know, these guys are starting to get it figured out. But Sam, we're definitely getting close to when somebody's going to call no mas and take these things pit side for what could possibly be the money stop.
Yeah, I thought there was going to be 2 pit stops in it, but it seems like they've proved me wrong once again. If they pit right now, and if we do get a green flag pit stop out of this, they can make it from here. We have only 20 and a half laps to go now.
Right, but the question is, are they going to be able to pack it full of enough fuel to get it through 2 green-white checker attempts?
Should it go down to green-white checkers, I'd expect everybody to bring it down pit road to get a top off of fuel. They won't take tyres, but they will get fuel, so expect that one, as we've got 2 coming down. That's Marchese and Worley, as you'd expect. Both of them extremely light in fuel, but just as I mentioned, can make it from here now.
Yeah, they went 30 laps on that tank, but the caution did help. But right now, Worrell, Decker, Pap, Bowman, and Kessler, your top 5, as I would expect sometime within the next handful of laps, we're going to see wholesale pit stops happen, provided somebody doesn't step on their own junk and wad the field.
Yeah, as Decker jumps out of line, he's going to go to the back of the lead pack right now, and he's had enough of drafting. Probably going to need it. Probably needed to get some air to that engine because he was tight up the back of the guys in front of him. Dustin Logston now moving his way up to second place. He's giving Mark McFadden one heck of a push, and this is now McFadden's opportunity to get that lap back the hard way. And he did. He's
yeah,
back
absolutely.
on the lead lap.
They're coming up on the 501, who is a lap down, and McFadden still is not out of danger yet, as Jason Papp is in control of that low line. And don't look now, but McFadden's about to get swallowed up on that middle line.
And that's Jesse Cottrell leading that outside line as well now. So Cottrell, for the first time tonight, making his way forward as Michael Anthony just nursed the side of Jason Papp. Papp able to come back up on track, but that was definitely a Code Brown moment there for the one.
There's a Code Brown moment for the announcers.
Yeah. And they're coming up on Frank Marchese. And I believe, no, it's just Frank Marchese, who's had a longer pit stop than normal. He didn't get a penalty this time, but he finds himself coming out of pit road just in front of the leaders, and he might get lapped here now.
Yeah, unfortunately, Marchese not having the night he was hoping for, getting well out of the way, staying on that high lane, being predictable as you ask lap cars to do, holding a nice tidy line, just letting those guys go, and he'll live to race on another day. But Logston right now with a nose out front in the 33, trying to block the daylights out of Michael Anthony in that second lane, not dropping down to pick up Mark McFadden yet. As here we go.
Pit stops are happening right now. And McFadden and Lowe trying to slow down. They might get popped with speed in here, but we've got to pay attention to how that one pans out. So 3 Balls Guarana cars making it down pit road along with Richard Lakawa. John Creighton is in pit road as well. John LeBombard just coming down as well. And it looks like Zishan Dura is in pit road as well.
Yeah, absolutely is. Don't mind me. I'm just trying to see if anybody got popped.
Nobody got popped. They're all out.
All right, then.
As Dura leaving his pit stall, Dennis Nickel came down pit road as well. He's just coming out of pit road. John LeBombard, though, he's the one that gets popped for speeding.
There it is. Dura and Nickel.
Oh, Tarnowski sideways! Tarnowski sideways in pit road, gets it all wrong. Now, did he hit the cone or did he go off into the grass? We'll find out now.
I'll let you know in a second.
And if
both.
Yeah. And that, if he does get a penalty for that, that'll be absolutely heartbreaking for Tarnowski because he's had such a good run tonight so far.
He was doing 85 when he clobbered the commitment cone.
But he was still having a good run so far tonight. That's the point I was trying to make.
Well, yeah, but I mean, that's self-inflicted wounds right there. He's going to be sitting for a while. Because pit road speed limit's only 55, and he was doing well over that by almost 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, Ryan Decker in pit road, McFadden in pit road, and Brandon Wilson going to be burning a fast repair here now in pit road. As
Logston just got dumped.
Yeah, Logston though is still facing forwards though, as we're going to see a lot of scrambling now to make sure they get down to pit road safely. Some lap cars in that one though. Frank Marchese and Ryan Worley are in that mix as well. So let's see who's going to come down next. I'm pretty sure it's going to be pretty much everybody at this point.
You kind of have to at this point. There
we go.
Yep. 15 laps to go. And be 14 at the line. Hang on to her, son.
Yeah, Posey hits the wall going in. That's going to be a fast repair burn, but everybody else making it in safely. And now this is where it gets crucial here, Tony, because those guys are the last guys to make it down pit road. Brandon Wilson has had another incident here. He's had a crash. Let's see what's happened to him. Gets it completely sideways and don't hit the wall. Just a love tap, but he got it all wrong coming out of pit road as pit stops are just finishing off here. And well, with 15 laps to go, did Posey cross the yellow line there? That's the question, because it looked very close.
Give me a second, that was a look.
As now, after the pit stops, Nick Kessler leads, but here comes the Balls Guarana cars coming up, and they're going to swallow him up completely. Marcus Adams, Chris Worrell, and James Lowe now have the clear lead in this race. They are quite a number of seconds ahead of both Nick Kessler and Connor Trafari, who's got that other Balls Guarana car of Michael Anthony right behind him.
He put two tires on the bottom of the two yellow lines coming to the start-finish line. And, yeah, he definitely crossed it before the exit cone. So Posey might get popped for a black flag before too much longer here.
As Gauthier taking a trip through the grass right there as he got it all wrong on the exit of turn 4. But here we go. 13 laps to go. Can Trafari and the guys behind him close that gap to Adams, Lowe, and Worrell? We'll find out before long as Zach Bowman opted to back out and file in behind Mark McFadden. Interesting strategy there by the 9.
He didn't really have a choice.
I think he's trying to pick up Kessler.
Well, there was almost contact, so, but yeah, he might be trying to pick up Kessler right now as, yeah, he is way off the pace by almost 6 miles an hour. And Kessler should be in his draft right about now. Yeah, here we go. They're starting to pick up the pace a little bit. But Connor Trafari is is leading that train of Trafari, Anthony, and Decker with Mark McFadden, the lap car, in tow. McFadden jumps to the outside lane, and business is picking up at the front.
Yeah, McFadden just sails around the outside of Marcus Adams. Where did he get that speed from? But great run there for McFadden, but still looking to get that lap back the hard way, as now it becomes a 6-horse race for the race win here. Might be 8 cars if Bowman and Kessler can catch up. They are going to be working together now to do that, but at the moment it's between 6 drivers to see who's going to get the win here.
Yeah, absolutely, and that is Worrell, Lowe, Trafari, Anthony, Decker, and Adams. Adams, the caboose in this freight train on that low lane right now, and they're going to need to work together a little bit better than they are, but because here comes the tandem of Borman and Kessler, and they have a head of steam. They're 207 miles an hour going into turn 3.
Yeah, and already they're on the back of Marcus Adams. They're going to sail around the outside. They're not done here. They're going to go straight to the front if they can keep up the momentum. As caution is out on the track.
And there it goes. Jason Papp.
It is Jason Papp. Let's go back and see what happened to him. And it's between Papp and Cottrell. And again, it was another bad push there by the 1.
Yeesh.
Yeah, just caught the wrong side of him and put Cottrell into the wall. And how Nicholas Wynn didn't get completely run over there, I do not know.
0 clues. The good news is Mark McFadden can now get the free pass to get back on the lead lap.
And just as that happened, Trafari might be hit with a pit lane penalty here, but he crossed the... according to my timing and scoring, he entered the pit lane and left the pit lane, meaning he crossed that pit line as the caution came out. So keep an eye on that 48. He might have a penalty here.
I'm showing no.
Might just be my time in the scoring playing up. So, 10 laps to go here. We're under our second caution. And that's going to reset everything here, Tony. We've got 19 drivers on the lead lap. 2 of them are getting fast repairs right now. That's Cottrell and Pap. Now, it's gone from a 6-horse race to a 19-horse race.
Yeah, the only thing that Trafari did was when the caution came out, he dove to the apron so he didn't get run over waiting for the pace car.
So it should be okay then, as we've got people taking down pit road. That's Ryan Decker and Marcus Adams going into pit road. Making a 20-horse race, actually, because Matt McFadden finally about to get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. But bad news if you're a fan of Brian Tarnowski, Brandon Wilson, and John LeBombard and Nick Wing. Those 3 guys getting caught in 1 or more laps down. So there goes McFadden to get his free pass. And I mean, if you're Mark McFadden, the only thing you should be able to do right now is when you get back to pit in, just bring it down pit road, take 4, top it off with fuel, and call it good. Because then you know you can make it from here, and you know you're going to have pretty much the freshest tires of just about anybody in front of you. There's only a handful of guys that took it down pit road so far under this caution. That's Decker, Lakawa, Marchese, Worley, Creighton, Nickel, and Dura. And Dura looks like he's getting damage repaired.
Yeah, it looks like he might be pit farming. He did get a bit of damage earlier on in the race, I believe, so he might have burned his fast repair. And it might have been a mistake there. Might have made a mistake of accidentally burning his fast repair, because I've done that before, leaving that little box checked, and it kind of pinches your fast repair, and you don't even notice it's gone until it's too late. And as Matt McFadden has taken his lucky dog and is immediately taking it down pit road in that Mustang.
And for those of you not from that side of the pond, when he says pinch, he doesn't mean grab between 2 fingers. He means
Steel.
Get sticky fingers and steal.
Mm-hmm.
Just so we're clear on this, because, you know, the United States and the UK, 2 countries separated by a common language.
I said that about Australia as well, and yeah, they got offended with that one.
Well, I mean, if you ever want to have a good time, there's a YouTube video that I saw that they hold up something or show a picture of something, and they ask someone from Australia, someone from the UK, and someone from North America to say what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And no offense to our friends from the down under, y'all have some weird phrases. Like they call McDonald's Mackers.
Yeah, Maccas. Yeah. I mean, over here we call McDonald's Mackies.
Call it the Arches.
I mean, you guys call it Mickey D's over there, so you can't really complain much.
Well, you're not wrong. As the lights go out on the Chevy Silverado pace truck, Worrell gonna have the button when we go back to green. Bad news for Chris Worrell. He has defending series champion Connor Trafari behind him, and Trafari looking to join his teammate Zishan Dura in qualifying for the playoffs by putting one in victory lane early this season. Good news if you're fans of the number 24, Marchese is back on the lead lap.
Yep, he is, and we're going to be expecting Marchese to push from this point onwards. He's been taking it very easy tonight. Not been right up there with the rest of the field, but now, if he wants to get a good result tonight, he's going to have to step on the binders a bit, step on the loud pedal a bit stronger.
Well, the good news is he's one of the cars that does have 4 fresh tires. As Dura back out on track after spending over a minute in his pit stall to try to pit farm the number 10, field working its way through the 3-4 complex for what could possibly be the final restart of this event. Go ahead and get your hate mail coming now. I know I just jinxed the field. But field coming out of turn number 4. Pace car getting ready to make that lazy left turn. There it goes. And Worrell can go anywhere from the pit road commitment cone to the start-finish line. He does not have to wait for the green flag this time like we saw on the initial start. Coming into the tri-oval, Worrell holds him down, as you would do. You don't want to get too big of a jump because you're going to be a sitting duck when you get to the back straightaway. Green flag in the air, and we are back underway. 68 laps in the books.
7 laps to go in this race, and it's going to be Worrell and James Lowe leading him into turn 1. Connor Trafari going to be threatening right behind him, as well as Michael Anthony. And you got to think with those Balls Guarana cars, team orders got to be out the window at this point of the race.
Well, it's the standard team orders that we talk about. Try not to kill each other. And if you are, make sure you take out the entire field with you. I'll make Lowe with a nose out front going into 3.
I'll make it a Sports Center highlight, but yeah. As you always say. Nick Kessler looking threatening back there. Shane Posey up there in P7 as well. Give a shout out to him. Dustin Logston, who almost got dumped before the green flag pit stops, is right up there. Frank Marchese on the move. Marcus Adams, watch for him before this is over. You cannot count that number 31 Mustang out before this is all said and done. With 6 laps to go, it's James Lowe leading him into turn 1.
Lowe drops down to hang his teammate out to dry. Michael Anthony now leading that second lane as he's got Kessler in tow. And there's the 28 of Decker as well, making his way back towards the front. And we're now going 3 wide. Holy cow, here we go.
Yeah, and this is where the aggression starts to pick up here at Talladega, and there's no more than you'd expect from these guys as we now head out of turn 4. And we're going to be 5 laps to go here at Talladega. This is where it really ramps up now.
Lowe with a nose out front as here comes Anthony in that second lane. Give the lap to Anthony at the stripe. Good grief. 7/1000ths of a second for Anthony, and he drops down in front of his 2 other Balls Guarana teammates, leaving Kessler to lead that second lane. Kessler with Decker in tow, and we've got the 31 of Marcus Adams in another Balls Guarana car leading the high line. He has the 38 of Lakawa in tow. So the outside lane, 5 cars in it, that's a pretty decent number. They might have the numbers that they're going to need to make something happen.
That they are, as look at Lakawa looking to try and force a gap on Marcus Adams. You don't want to go 4 wide here. 3 will do as they come down to complete another lap. 4 laps to go in towards turn 1. They are 3 wide, 4 deep, as this is really ramping up now. We are going to have one heck of an exciting finish if things stay the same way. Connor Trafari down there, Zach Bowman in the middle. I'm noticing one Mr. John Creighton, who was at the very back of the field at one point, now in the mix as well.
Creighton looking to get a top 10 finish as Joe Gauthier gets shuffled back. Shane Posey gets shuffled back as well in the 83. Not really shuffled as much as that inside lane in the contact!
There it is, and the big one is happening right now.
How was your forward drive there towards the end of that little run we just did?
We're going green-white checker.
That we are. And not really the big one, but some big hitters involved in that one. I believe Frank Marchese might have got a piece of it. Yes, he did. John Creighton getting a big piece of it. He's going straight to pit road. Shane Posey involved. Joe Gauthier involved. Dennis Nickel involved. And probably some very unhappy drivers in that. And I'm pretty sure Zishan Dura might have got a piece of that as well.
Good possibility.
And we're going to go back and take a look and see exactly what happened.
So that started when the 11 of Nickel went down into Gauthier. Gauthier gets up into the 97, and boom goes the dynamite.
Yeah, and cars just spinning everywhere. Doesn't look like a lot of them didn't get damage in that one. They just went for a nice little ride through the grass and such. As we're going to focus on Frank Marchese. And he might have some front end damage, but nothing too serious for a lot of them drivers that went for a spin there.
Yeah, Marchese just a little front fender damage, but yeah, there's a lot of unhappy drivers with Nickel right now, as just did not hold the line, was trying to side draft coming off of 4, and just went down into Gautier and just away she goes. Luckily, we didn't have as many cars as we thought we were going to have involved in that one. But it's like Nick Kessler being scored as the leader.
That he is. And he might have been given the lead during that whole melee that happened. As 3 laps to go. That means we are in green-white checkered territory. All of the cars that were involved in that melee are in pit road. Dura was not involved. He managed to step on the binders enough so he could avoid it. So good for him. It's been in pit road to get fresh tires and fuel. Looks like he's got a clean car underneath him now, so should be happy. Nickel has taken a fast repair. Gautier has taken a fast repair. Frank Marchese back out of pit road. He has taken a fast repair as well. So everybody in a clean car now to round this thing off.
Yeah, absolutely. But the guys that went down pit road to top off and get the tires changed and different things repaired, the question is, do they have enough time to make up enough spots to get back up towards the front? As we've seen, you've got to have people to work with to make something happen. As we got Kessler, Anthony, Lowe, Decker, Borman, Worley, Adams, Trafari, Lakawa, and Dustin Longston rounding out your top 10 here tonight so far.
Yeah, and the rest of your field is Jesse Cottrell, who was involved in the second caution here tonight. Mike McFadden back on the lead lap, already back up to P12. You got Ryan Worley, Jason Papp, Zishan Dura, Dennis Nickel, John Creighton, Shane Posey, Joe Gautier, Frank Marchese, and back on the lead lap now is Brandon Wilson, so watch out for him before this is all said and done. Drivers that are laps down: John LeBombard, Brian Tarnowski, who had that incident on his pit entry, Nicholas Wing is 2 laps down, and Patrick Coro, got to give a special shout out to him, really dedicated to finishing this race. 28 laps down, a late starter, but still right in it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just connection issues during qualifying didn't let him grid up. Got the throughput just as we went green, and just struggled to get his router reset. So hats off to him for persevering tonight. As looks like we're going lights out on the pace truck this coming time by the start finish line, Sam.
Absolutely, and that's owing to the shorter caution times that we have in these races now. So that is one thing that I know me and Tony are pleased about. Not having to sit through several laps of pacing, but definitely going to be exciting from here. 2 laps to get it sorted here, Tony. Are we going to get another green-white checkered out of this, or is this one going to finish?
Well, if it's anything like we saw last week, we're probably going to use both of them.
Absolutely. As we're looking on the dynamic camera right now, it's very nice shots of the cars as they come through turn 2. It's very difficult to pick who's going to win this one here, Tony, because everybody has been at the front at some point or another in this race. So everybody has the pace to be up there. It's just who wants it more.
And that's why I said we're not done with cautions tonight.
Yeah, probably. Dennis Nickel down in P16. You've got to watch for those guys that have just been down pit road. They've probably taken fresh fuel, a top off of fuel. Actually, probably didn't take fuel, just took tyres. They've got to keep an eye on them. Zishan Dura, probably been on the struggle bus longer than everybody else here tonight. Probably not going to get that 4th win in 5 here tonight. Well,
the only thing Dura did was take his fast repair, and it looks like Nickel did the same. as did Gautier. Everybody else took 4 in fuel that went down pit road that time as the field worked its way through the 3-4 complex for what we hope is the last time for the last restart, Sam.
That we are as we head down through turn 4. We're ready for 2 more laps of racing, hopefully, to get this one finished off as they come out of turn 4. The lazy left turn there for the pace truck as we are ready for the first and hopefully last of the green-white checkers here tonight. It's going to be Nick Kessler that has the button as they come through the tri-oval. Michael Anthony to his outside. Any one of these drivers on the lead lap could win this one. Who's it going to be? We're going to find out right about now. Green flag should be coming out right about this time now. And we are racing once again here at Talladega. 2 more laps to get this decided.
Drag race going into turn number 1. That's Kessler on the inside, Anthony on the high side. Now, the strange part of this is Anthony has Kessler's teammate, and Kessler has Anthony's teammate as pushers right now as they work their way out of turn number 2. Who's it going to be, Chevy or Toyota, as they work their way down the super stretch? And right now, it looks like the high lane. Oh, yep, we're not done.
Yeah, and
there
that's
it goes.
McFadden, and it looks like it was Jason Papp involved. A whole slew of cars involved. And that is the first green-white checkered failed. And we're going to go back and look at this one because this is going to take some dissecting here, Tony.
That started with Dura getting into the 00 of Worley, giving him a bad bump, and just sent Worley up the track into McFadden. And unfortunately, Jason Papp catching a race car to the face.
Now, Worley involved, it looks like it was John LeBombard involved, Brian Tarnowski involved, Joe Gautier might have caught a piece of it too. Ryan Worley definitely caught a piece of it. We're going to go back and take another look here and get a proper view of it. And oh, it was a bad push there by Dura that caused it.
Exactly. Just didn't hit him square. We've seen that happen a couple other times tonight. As you know, as close as these guys are running, you've got to hit that car in front of you square. You basically have to line your helmet up with their helmet in the rearview mirror, and if you hit them anywhere other than dead nut lined up like that, you're going to turn somebody. And it's going to be even worse next week because at least with these cars, the trucks and the cup cars, the front and rear bumpers kind of line up. Yeah. The ARCA car, you get into somebody's you get into somebody's back bumper with an ARCA car, you've just lifted their rear axle off the ground.
Yeah, and with the new damage model on the ARCA car as well, it makes the crashes a lot more spectacular. So we're going to see body parts flying everywhere if we get the big one there next week.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen ARCA races in the past where, guys will be driving down the track and their hood will be over the windscreen.
Yeah. That's happened to me before. That is scary when that happens because there is no gap underneath the hood where you can see. Well, not a big enough one anyway, and you're literally driving blind until you get to pit road, or you just stop and tow it. As it looks like Nicholas Wing just got another lap back, I think. Yeah, it's only 1 lap down now, so Nicholas Wing capitalizing off that big one.
Sam, don't you have VR?
I do, but I uninstalled it because I didn't like it. So
I was going to say, just stick your head out the window.
Actually, I don't have it installed yet because I've obviously with the rebuild of the computer, I haven't really installed everything yet. So,
right. So when we go back to green, Michael Anthony is going to have the button this time. Ryan Decker going to be restarting in second. Nick Kessler third. Ryan Worley, James Lowe rounding out your top 5. And, Sam, we've seen that outside lane pay dividends kind of surprisingly here at Talladega, because normally, you get single file and just ride that inside lane and nobody can really get by you.
Yeah, and I think Michael Anthony was able to get to the front by the fact that Decker was pushing him on the restart. Kessler didn't really have the help he wanted, and that was what put him back to third place. Still a lot of drivers able to win this one. Papa, I think, might have called it a night here because he's been in pit road for an extra long time now, so his race might be done, which is a shame because, again, like Tarnowski, he was having a good run here tonight.
Now, here comes the big question. If you're Michael Anthony, do you choose inside or outside? If you choose outside, you've got the 6 of Worley, your teammate, starting right behind you. If you choose inside, you've got Nick Kessler behind you.
Yeah. I'd pick Worrell.
There's Pap coming out of pit road there, just barely beating the pace truck.
Yeah, I think he might be a couple of laps down now, unfortunately, but no,
he is not.
He's still on the lead lap, which is amazing. So, Pap,
well, with 2 minute and 25-second pace laps around this place, he was able to spend 2 minutes and 9 seconds in his pit box repairing as much damage as he could because he's already burned that fast repair.
Yeah, so Pap able to stay on the lead lap, so that leaves us 20 to finish this one on the lead lap. And for a super speedway race that has seen 4 cautions here tonight, that's pretty impressive to still see 20 of the 25 that started this race still on the lead lap.
Yeah, absolutely. And at one point we still had 21 on the lead lap, but the fact is we still have 24 of 25 starters still running.
Yeah, Joe Gauthier, I believe, has put it on the hauler, so he's done.
Well, he's still in the session, but he hasn't come out of pit road for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, so he'll definitely be done because he won't have enough time to get out of pit road if he's got the serious damage that I think he has. So Gauthier might be done. So like you said, 24 out of 25 still running. Very much not a race of attrition here tonight, and we don't normally say that about these super speedway races, but Tony, they're coming through 3 and 4. It's time to get us restarted, hopefully for the final time here tonight.
Well, this will be the final restart, as this is the second of 2 attempts at a green-white checker. Anthony has the button in that Balls Guarana Cherry number 8. And getting back to my earlier statement, Sam, Cheerwine, it's a cherry soda that you normally find in the south of the United States, but I happen to know where to find it in New York State. Anyways, pace truck makes that lazy left turn, drops below onto the apron. Anthony in control of the field. Kessler all over his back bumper right now, looking to get the restart of his career. Everybody looking to punch their ticket into the playoffs early so they don't have to fret later on in the season.
Green.
Field coming out of the tri-oval, green flag in the air. They roll back into it. Anthony with a nose out front, drag race with Decker going into 1. Kessler shoving the daylights out of Anthony right now, giving him everything he can to try to get onto the podium, as that's pretty much where the race is if you're on that inside lane right now. Right now, though, Decker trying to make something happen on the high line as he's got Worrell shoving the daylights out of him.
Yeah, a big drag race down towards turn 3.
Oh!
As we've got a big incident in the back, it's going to be Jason Shantura going down to the apron. Got to be careful coming back up a track, and he's not going to be careful, almost collecting Coro as he comes back up, and that could have ended in disaster as he comes out of turn 4 now. Just got to get that run down towards the white flag now. We're seeing people making last-ditch efforts to get to the front here, Nickel being one of them as they come down to the line now. White flag in the air. We are going to finish this one under green.
The good news, if you're Nick Kessler, is you have your teammate in your rear view mirror right now. Those 2 Chevys looking to work together to break up the Toyotas at the front of this thing. And that was the 11 getting shuffled out of line. We're not done yet. White flag is in the air. Less than half a lap. Ooh, big moment.
Very big moment, but it's still on at the front as here comes James Lowe getting a big push there by Nick Kessler. It's going to be a scramble down to the line as they come out of turn 4. Big run down to the line now. Who's going to take the incentive right here and get that lead away? It's going to be Michael Anthony versus James Lowe. Team on team battle. We've got one out there. Big wreck at the end. It's going to be Michael Anthony that's going to steal it at the line, but a big wreck in the background. Anthony gets the win. Bowman in second. Jesse Cottrell out of nowhere gets P3, but I'm pretty sure James Lowe is not going to be happy with that one.
Probably not. I mean, there was heavy contact coming to the stripe as there were some guys that were looking to make it 3 and 4 wide.
Oh, Kessler went for a ride.
Yeah, he did.
I'm going to go on board with Nick Kessler after that happened. That is... wow. Let's go on board with Nick Kessler on the gyro cam. Go back and...
And that started when Worley got into the back bumper of Kessler and didn't give him a shot that was straight. Not to... actually, no, I take that back. It started with the 38 coming up into Kessler. So yeah, that wasn't the 28 at all. The 38 went up and just caught the left rear bumper or left rear bumper area of Kessler's car, sent him down the track. So if you want to blame anyone, blame Lakawa on that one.
And a lot of people picking up crucial positions out of that one. Logston picking up P6 at the end of that one. Cottrell, probably the biggest shock for him. He gets a top 3 out of that one. Great result for him. Marchese almost stealing a top 10. He gets P11. But right now, we're going to go straight to the interviews for this one as Michael Anthony is picking up a big win here tonight, and this will please him as we're going to go and I'm going to find him. I've got him, so we're going to bring him down to the booth. And Tony, you're down in victory. Well, you've got to try and catch an interview with him while he's doing his burnouts.
Well, we're going to try to talk to him as making his return to the Circle B Diecast Superspeedway Series, round number 2 of the current season. After missing the season opener at Daytona, Michael Anthony coming home with the victory here tonight at Talladega. Mike, what did you see on that final lap?
I don't know what I saw. I was happy to take a. I was looking at my rear view the whole time. You guys know that. I was doing a little rear mirror driving, but I was happy with James and my teammate, taking 1-2 whatever way it happened to come out. I know Chris was back there too. He could have snuck one in. Again, I don't know what I saw in the mirror.
Actually, second place is going to Zach Borman. So yeah, there was a couple of your teammates got caught up in that one.
Oh yeah, the teammates definitely didn't get that 2 and 3 spot.
No,
I saw them sideways.
No, but they didn't go for the wildest ride tonight. But just how sketchy was it out there trying to bump draft these cars at almost 200 miles an hour?
You know, it wasn't too bad tonight. I stayed in the back for a good chunk. I went and took the lead a couple times, raced up there. It was pretty fun. But I stayed in the back for most of the night. But when I got up there, they weren't too bad. Definitely not like the trucks or anything.
All right. What was going through your mind on that final restart when you saw your teammate pick up Kessler instead of you?
I knew he was going to jump to the outside. It's these races, man. It's every man for himself. Unless something counts, you know. Teammates are always going to be there for each other, but when it's a race like this, it's every man for himself. It's fun out there.
Well, we go next week back to Daytona, and we go to the ARCA cars. Your thought going to that legacy car next week?
Can't wait. My favorite car on iRacing, at least for super speedways.
All right then. Mike, before we let you go celebrate with your team, is there anybody you want to thank?
Yeah, definitely. The Balls teammates, first and foremost. Those guys make racing on here fun. You guys for the broadcast, Jason, Greg, putting the league on. Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRace and iFlag, Butt Kicker, Midwest Motor Customs. And yeah, pretty much it.
All right, your first win of the season. Congratulations, Michael Anthony. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week in the ARCA car at Daytona.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
So that was Michael Anthony joining us in the booth from Victory Lane. Now joining myself, if I can actually get some reason. Okay.
I got him.
No, I'm just sorting something out on here. Now we've got Zach Bowman joining me in the booth from second place. Zach, made your way through the melee right there at the death and coming away with a second place. You were running up the front most of the night. Got to be happy with where you finished tonight.
Yeah, you're not kidding there. I can't believe it. I did everything but shut my eyes and pray, because that's basically what I was doing there. I'm thrilled. I'll take second. I'll take the 0x. I mean, and that's how you draw it up. So, it was weird. I mean, I feel like I didn't run as well as what second place was. I don't think second was deserved, but yeah, I'll take it. I'm still in bewilderment. I can't believe it.
Yeah, it seemed like it was a huge battle between your team and the Balls Guarana team. Probably the biggest battle out there, the Golden State Racing versus those guys. The Balls Out team were like almost on top of everybody here tonight. What was the task that was afforded to your team to try and beat those guys here tonight?
Just try to stay with them and hope you can pip them at the line. Those guys are all really, really fast and they work really, really well together. But we do too. So it's a chess match really. Like one lap they'll have the edge, and then on the next lap we could have the edge. And I loved it. It's great racing with them. Yeah. I mean, at the end there it was a bit tough because we were all restarting on the bottom. And the bottom, we found out through the race, was just not the line you wanted to be in. And they were all up top, and they could just get that edge off the initial bursts. And especially at the end, we didn't have enough laps to really get organized up top and try to push our way back. So, yeah. I, again, still can't believe it. Worked out for me. Didn't work out for all of them, which is always a bummer. But, yeah, that's just how the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, a lot of cautions near the end there. Is that what helped you towards getting back near the front there? Obviously, it was clean for the most part, but as it got closer to that checkered flag, it just all fell apart for everybody with regards to cautions. What was your mindset going into that final part of the race?
Yeah, so on the yellow before, I ended up for the second green white checker, I was going to restart 7th. And I had learned that the bottom was just horrific for restarts. So I was talking with my team, and I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna pit here. I still have my fast fix. I might restart like 16th, but I think I have a. I was gonna think like restarting 7th. I'll probably finish like 12th if I'm just stuck on the bottom. So I wanted to have some like flexibility, maneuverability to make my way up rather than be the stone falling back. So I thought restarting would turn out to be like 17th. I had a better chance of getting a top 10 than I did starting 7th. If we just kept it green the whole way, I was in about 8th, and I would have happily taken that. And then once I saw everyone start wrecking, I was like, "Oh, Jesus, take the wheel!" And sure he did. So yeah, these cars, I mean, they changed since the last time we drove them. Really loose, really fun. Yeah, it's good to keep in the mental notebook for the next time we do these. That the bottom maybe not the best place to be.
Yeah, and next week though we change to a different car, and as we return to Daytona, but probably the earliest we're going to see them we've ever seen them with this series. But next week we're off in the ARCA car next week. What are your thoughts with that one coming out next week?
That car is so fun. I remember when we brought it back into the fold last year, I was dreading it, but that thing's actually kind of a blast to drive. So unless they changed it since we last drove it, I hope they keep it the same. But yeah, should be fun. You really can't be as tight as we were tonight with them. You have to really give a little more space, and I like that where you can just kind of chill out until you can position yourself there at the end. So I'm a fan of the ARCA cars. I'm really a fan of every car, but I mean, as long as you're having fun, then yeah, can't complain.
Absolutely. Well, it should be a fun race there next week at Daytona in those cars. But tonight, though, you really, well, Jesus really did take the wheel, and you managed to get that top 3 finish, and very well deserved for yourself. Before I let you go, though, who's responsible for getting that car up to second place here tonight?
Oh, as always, working with Nick whenever he shows up, Z and Connor. I mean, it's great group of guys to work with. I feel bad on the last lap. I gave Z a bump to get back up to the pack, and I turned him to the inside, and I had a guilty conscience going to finish that race. Bump for him, and then yeah, just all the supporters. You guys work hard for us. I think we got like Rowdy Energy, we got Midwest Motor Customs, and we have a lot of guys who have been around here for a while. And I keep telling everyone, come race with us. It's a really, really fun league. The more cars we have, the more fun it is. So, yeah, that's about it for me.
All right, Zach. Well, go and get yourself a rest. I know it's been a tough race out there. Get yourself regrouped, and we will hopefully, well, we'll definitely see you in the back next week when we head to Daytona in the ARCA cars. We'll see you then.
Yeah, you got it. Take care, guys.
That was Zach Bowman joining us from second place here. Seemed very surprised to be up there at the end, but another driver that made his way through the melee and was able to finish on the podium was Jesse Cottrell. Tony is with him right now.
Like the parting of the seas coming to the final flag of the event. Jesse, talk us through that whole melee that you were able to weave your way through.
I was just trying to ride behind my teammate Richard Leckwell all night there, and we had a pretty good strategy going, and then right there at the end, all hell broke loose, and strategy went out the window. So I just stayed in the throttle and came out with a P3.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of unhappy drivers right now that had a shot at this one coming to the checker, and talk us through your thoughts of the race. I believe this was your series debut?
No, I've raced last season for a little while, and the season before that. It's my first race back after a little bit of an absence. But I didn't have no issues out of the whole night. Nothing for me to be mad about. It's a simulator. I got real life issues going. You know what I mean? I got to worry about. So, yeah, I don't really take these too personal. Just go out here and try to do the best I can, and coming out with finishes like this is what it's all about.
Well, Jesse, we change gears a little bit next week, and we go to the Legacy ARCA car at Legacy Daytona. Your thoughts going to that facility and with that car?
It's going to be a bumpy ride with the wheels turned right all the time, and it should be a good event. And I'm looking forward to it. I like the ARCA cars. Just want to go out there and try to put on another good show for the viewers and get the best finish possible.
All right. Well, Jesse, before we let you go celebrate your first podium of the season, welcome back to the folds. And is there anybody you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to thank Circle B Diecast, Rowdy Energy, iRacing, iFlag, Butt Kicker, and Midwest Motor Customs. Also, want to give a shout out to my Strictly Stock Motorsports teammates and Jason Papp. He's dealing with some COVID-19 issues right now. I wish him the best of luck getting through that. And thank ESPN for putting on this show so we can watch it every night, man. It's good stuff, and I appreciate everything y'all do and all the sponsors. And once again, I want to give a shout out to my Strictly Stock Motorsports teammates. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you.
All right. Well, Jesse, again, congratulations on your first podium in your first race back with the league. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week at Daytona.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was Jesse Cottrell joining us from third place on the podium. And a very good race here tonight, Tony. But like I said to Zach right there, it all kind of fell apart near the end there as the tension started to heat up.
Yeah, absolutely. And you kind of expect that at plate tracks. Laps start winding down, patience start wearing thin. and it becomes go time in a lot of these guys' minds. And even early on, there were some guys that were suspect at best at being able to hold a straight line. And then you get guys that are getting antsy and trying to make their way towards the front. They have a bump draft go wrong, and next thing you know, you've wadded half the field. And there are a lot of unhappy campers right now.
Yeah, there is, but they need to get themselves back on mental terms with how things are with racing and get back on top of things, because next week it really gets difficult. We're at the old Daytona. We're in the ARCA car. It's going to be a difficult night for those guys next week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, like we mentioned during the broadcast, the ARCA car, the biggest thing to keep in mind is you can't bump draft as well in that car as you can in this car, the Cup car, the truck, because the front and rear bumpers don't line up. If you get into somebody with aggression, you've just lifted their rear axle off the ground. It's almost like a dirt late model with that kind of effect. It's really easy to get under that rear bumper, and I predict havoc for the guys that don't put in the laps to make sure they know what the car is going to do.
Absolutely, but that is going to do it for us here tonight anyway at Daytona. Before we go anywhere, let's go to the results of tonight's race. And coming down with a victory here tonight was one Mr. Michael Anthony, making his way through the melee. He gets the win here tonight. Zach Bowman will cross the line in second place. A very surprised second place, he stated. Jesse Cottrell coming home in third place. Chris Worrell comes home in P4, and Dennis Nickel, an eventful night here for him tonight. He gets the top 5 here with fifth place. Dustin Logston at P6. Ryan Worley, after the troubles he's had tonight, getting a P7. Richard Lakawa on his debut getting P8. P9 going to Colin Trafari, 10th after his troubles for Brandon Wilson. Frank Marchese just missing out on the top 10. He gets P11. And Mark McFadden, despite being a lap down early on, gets P12, Tony.
Nick Kessler from the penthouse to the outhouse coming home in 13th after getting caught up in that last lap melee. Same goes for Ryan Decker in 14th, James Lowe in 15th, and Marcus Adam in 16th, as well as Shane Posey coming home in 17th. Jason Papp able to rebound for 18th, still on the lead lap. Zishan Dura finished on the lead lap after having some troubles and missing the complete rear roll pan of that car after starting from the pole, salvaging a 19th place finish here tonight. John Creighton coming home in 20th, Brian Ternowski in 21st, Nick Wing in 22nd, 23rd goes to John LeBombard, Joe Gautier being scored in 24th, and Pat Coro in his series debut coming home in 25th, not giving up after having connection issues early on.
Absolutely not. A quick look ahead on the schedule here for the rest of the we're off for the rest of the weekend, but for starting next week, we do have the iRacing series return to your screens with the Rowdy Energy Cup Series as they head to Tony's favourite track, Tony's home track, as we head to Watkins Glen. Tuesday, we have a double dip for you with the MS5 Pro Series. They head to Sebring, and then later in the night, we have the Western States Racing League. They head to Chicagoland. On Wednesday, we have one race for you, not the two, as we have an epic showdown in store for you with the Endurance for Amateurs as they head to Daytona. Well, that's going to do it for us here on ESPN. Great racing all around, chaos at the end, and that's what we love here on ESPN. But all the more big congratulations to Michael Anthony, who picks up his race win. But that is going to do it for us here. From myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, from my broadcast partner, Mr. Tony Trapasso, all that's left of me to say is keep it clean, keep it green. We will catch you live on Monday. Have a great weekend. We will see you then.